What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Retail Shenanigans. Sorry that we didn't post any this weekend, but I decided to take the weekend off, spend some time with the family and the kids, and it was much needed. It was a great, happy, relaxing weekend. Today is episode 9 of Retail Shenanigans. Today's special guest is Chris Gomez, longtime friend of mine. He's worked a lot of retail, specifically phone and electronic retail, that type of deal. I know he also worked at Walmart for a little bit, if I remember correctly, and just a really good buddy I've had for a while. And someone I used to love going shooting with. So, Chris, welcome to the show, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. Glad to be here.
Hell yeah, man. Glad to have you on. So, you do everything okay? Everything going good for you today?
Yeah, just good. It's my day off.
Shit. That's why I said, I don't know if you heard, but I had some interviews scheduled for this weekend, but a couple of them fell through. And then other ones, I just told them, like, look, I've been going at this hard, working full time with my regular job and then treating this like a full time job. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take the weekend off and relax a little bit. And
I
it was,
feel you.
it was great. It was fantastic. Notice I hear some birds chirping you outside.
Yeah, I'm sitting out in the backyard.
No worries, man. That's awesome. I heard, from what I understand from people who I know still live up there, they said the past couple of days it had been raining a lot.
Yeah, it's cloudy.
Yeah, it's cloudy down here. Tonight and tomorrow we're supposed to have a really, really bad storm, so that should uh that should be interesting. Um, but yeah, like I told him on the podcast, I know you've got a lot of retail experience. You've been in
A
the
lot.
retail business for a long time. So really what I wanted to get you started with is the first question here for the podcast is how long have you worked in retail?
Wow, over 10, 12 years.
Right, so just right up there with me. You and I have been pretty much doing it about the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. So what have, in those 12 years, where all have you worked?
The 12 years where I've worked, I've normally done, it was Radio Shack for about 2 years.
Okay.
Wow, I worked for Radio Shack. Wow. For the last 2 years, they remained open. I worked with Radio Shack till they actually just closed down in general.
Okay.
So I was there to say their final goodbyes before society was like, we don't need you no more.
Okay.
I worked at Walmart for about a year and a half. Also, I worked at AT&T corporate. Working with the big bucks, selling direct TV.
Right.
So a lot with electronics. So mostly cell phones. But I'm like to everybody I know, my family, friends. I'm like their tech guru when they need help. It's kind of a blessing and a curse at the same time.
No, I trust me, I get it. I mean, I know I've personally called you a couple times, especially when I moved down here when I was having some issues with my phone about getting the service and everything accustomed to me being down here, and you gave me some helpful tips and everything on that. But just from being in that industry, I know it can be annoying, so I try not to bug you too much. But man, let me tell you, I know it's been a while, man, but I wish we could go shooting. I miss that.
Me too, man. I think the last time I went shooting was like literally 4 months ago, before this whole COVID-19 breakout.
Man, that was so much fun. And you know what? And even if it's just something that it helped you get some stress off, and it was a hell of a lot of fun. Especially if you went up there and there was a good group of people up there, and everybody was like, "Oh, you want to shoot my gun? You want to try mine? Yeah, go ahead. Awesome."
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I tell you what, that video that I shot of my mom shooting my gun, it was me, you, and I
Yeah,
forget the.
it was Chris
I
Better.
ha-
Yeah,
yeah, I have a TikTok account, and I put that video up, and my mom, she just blew up on TikTok. She got over 130K. So I'm
man.
like, it was fun. It was
Well,
fun.
well, maybe not on TikTok, but that's definitely what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to get all the views I can. So I want to, I just want people to know that there's a spot for them to come here and talk about their retail experience, share their horror stories, things like that. And not even just bad. I mean, because I know there are some good stories to tell too, but I know a lot of people have some stories they want to get off their chest.
Oh yeah, I mean, I got plenty of stories that it was times I just wanted to walk up and walk away and be like, look,
Shit.
I get paid to do my job, but I don't get paid to be, because you come one, you come for me to help. You
Right.
know, you want my personal and professional opinion, and you want my services. I'm giving it to you, but I'm not gonna give you my services. You're just gonna treat me like dirt. You know, yeah, they always say the policies, the customer's always right. In my book, customers is never always right all the time. And I tell it how it is.
It's like from Billy Madison when he's beating the shit out of Bob Barker and he's like, "The price is wrong, bitch." Okay, so you worked at all those places. So then, where was your first retail job? Was it Radio Shack or was it something before then?
No, it was actually Radio Shack because all
Okay.
my other jobs was just like under the desk, landscape, and stuff like that. But my first real job was Radio Shack.
Oh, so you did a lot of bitch work and then you got into the tech work.
Yep.
I got you. Okay, so while working through Best Buy, what was your job title there? Were you just like a salesman, or was like that's is that what you were from the start to the finish, or were there like different job titles you held there, or what?
Well, no, I was a sales rep. So basically, it was a standalone store. So it was actually a Radio Shack. So I started up at
So it wasn't like a
Brooklyn, New
booth
York.
or anything; it was an actual location.
Correct. Yeah, it was an actual store.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to clarify.
Oh no, you're fine. Yeah, no, it's fine. But yeah. So I started my career off back in my hometown, New York City, in Brooklyn,
No one
and
cares. No one cares.
nah,
You ain't got to throw. Oh, I'm from Brooklyn. Oh, I'm from
shut up.
Brooklyn.
But I'm telling you my story
No, I
origins.
got you. Gotta fuck with
Once
you.
upon a time. Once
Once
upon a
upon a
time.
time in New York.
But
Okay.
so that's where it all started. Was back at home, and it all started. I was actually looking for work because I was at college at the time for criminal justice, and I needed to work. I needed a
Right.
job for like transportation for like the buses and trains,
Well, you
food
need
for lunch or
money.
whatever. Exactly. So I went. Actually, I was a customer to Boost Mobile, and I went to Radio Shack and they had some phones. I was actually checking out their phones.
Hmm.
And the guy's like, oh, long story short, like, oh, you need help? I'm like, no, I'm just looking at some phones, but I am looking for work if you guys are hiring.
Hmm.
And the guy, he was like, okay, I understand. He actually gave me an interview right on the spot on the sales floor. I'm like,
There you go.
okay. I didn't know at the time. He goes, you have any experience? I'm like, nah, I don't have any at all.
Right.
He goes, okay, what would you do if you ran into some circumstances with a customer? And I told him how it is. I can't remember what I said, but I
Right.
told him. And he goes, all right, well, you know what? Call this number. Here's an address. Fill out the application. Basically, I just gave you an interview right on the sales floor. Fill out the application. Let me know, and we'll push you through so you could do the orientation. I'm like, okay, no problem. Because I told him that I'm a tech guy. I work with
Right.
computers. And then I guess he kind of liked what he heard, and it started off from there. So I worked at Radio Shack in New York for about a good year. Moved to Pennsylvania. Well, back to PA. 2012, and I
Okay.
was working at the Radio Shack at the Westman.
Okay.
Then they closed down. Then I
Right.
went up to Red Line on Cape One Road, and then since it was too far from me, I didn't have a car at the time. They had me at the Galleria,
Gotcha.
and I just worked there until they all closed down. So
So once
that's where I started.
I gotcha. So once it started all going downhill, like not being a dick or anything, but once like Radio Shack started all going downhill, they were just kind of store hopping you from place to place.
Yeah.
Okay. And I assume that's just something that didn't bother you too much, that you were able to adapt that way.
Yeah, because it got me to open up my eyes a little bit. Because of course I'm not from PA, I'm not from New York, so I didn't really bother me. Because me, I like to travel, so I like to learn new locations. So it kind of helped me out a little bit.
No, I definitely understand what you're saying. We got it was the same thing with coming down here. When I first moved down here, the only people I knew were the people we moved in with for the couple months until we got our own apartment, and it was just weird because we're a completely different spot. You know, yeah, whenever we got the chance, we'd go out and try to explore, but it was mainly just work and home with the kids, like saving money so we could get our own place down here because we literally used all our savings to come down here. I mean, I remember talking to you about it when I told you I was moving, and you were like, what are you going to do down there? I'm like, well, I'm going to work. Like, that's literally all I was doing the first time I came down, like my first time down here. So I get you. Um, So then once you started seeing like everything, like the stores kept closing, did it ever occur to you to kind of jump ship early, or did you just like it so much enough that you were just like, yeah, I'm gonna stay?
I liked it. I was gonna stay. I
Right.
mean, I wasn't gonna lie. There was moments I wanted, like, yo, okay, I need to start something new. But it was something I was so good at, something I know so well. It's like starting over all over again. I just didn't want to do it, so I just stuck with it.
Okay, no, that's totally understandable. Um, so I guess my next question for you then, with everything that you've done and the experiences that you've had, what would you say then your best memory of working retail would be?
The
Like,
people that I've met,
really?
yeah, the people that I've met, between customers and coworkers.
Okay. Can you elaborate that out a little bit? Even especially on like like I've heard a lot of people say that about like the customer or not the customers, sorry, the employees, like the people they met and that they worked with really started to become some of their close family and friends. But like on the customer side, can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Oh yeah, so like basically with any job you get that's customer based, you're gonna meet those customers that are total assholes. You're gonna meet customers that's gonna be total, the sweetest people you could ever meet, and some people who just has a character to their personality. And
Right.
the people that I've met along the way is a lot of people with personality and just basically who has no filter, but in a good sensible way where they look at life at a different perspective and just be like, fuck it, you live once, YOLO.
All right. I no, I kind of understand what you're saying. So it's just like the fact that you're able to see these perspectives, like sorry, perceptions through your customers' eyes, and like even the ones that were, the ones that were, not the negative Nancy's and everything that you were able to really, you know, benefit your work experience from having these customers.
Yeah.
Okay. So then on the kind of going along with that, now and you said some of the people that you worked with, are you still friends or close with any of the people that you worked with?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. My one close friend, Josh. When I moved out here and when I transferred from the one Radio Shack to the other out here, from New York to out here,
Okay.
I actually met one of my best friends at a Radio Shack where now he is the godfather of my son. And we're
Wow.
still, good friends to this day. He actually got me into AT&T. He stuck his neck out for me to get me the job because with AT&T, basically either you have to be really, really good at what you do, or you need to know somebody on the inside. So I knew him,
Gotcha.
and yeah, I still talk to him. I still talk to my good friend Sean. He worked with us at Radio Shack.
Okay.
Then he worked at Verizon, but it was like a third party stand or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm working with him again now here at Boost Mobile.
Okay. And now the people who got you in at AT&T, are they still working there or have they moved on too?
Some moved on, and some stood. So I would say like three of them moved on, and the rest stood. They're doing well for themselves. Josh, he's been there for going on 5 years now.
Okay.
They're offering him management position, but he keeps turning it down. A good friend of mine, he became an assistant manager for AT&T. Um, there's one friend of mine. She still is a sales rep, or what they call a my God, I can't even think of the word now, but basically a retail sales consultant. So she's still a sales consultant. So, but they make good money at what they do. They're good at what they do.
Right. No, I understand. It's just I kind of remember, and this kind of segues into the next question is the next part of the podcast is really talking about your like worst memories of retail. So before I say what I was gonna say, do you have what would you say is your worst memories or your worst encounters working retail?
Oh man,
Like if you had to pick like top three, whatever your top of that three list is.
one was basically a customer throwing an ID right at my face.
Oh, I fucking hate
Um,
that. Oh,
definitely, man.
I used to, because I worked at Turkey Hill for like 5 years. So like
Yeah.
you would have, you have to card these people because, if you don't card somebody and either A, someone from the states in there, or your boss is standing there, then you're going to be like either A, you're getting written up, or B, you're fired because the state saw you not ID somebody. Like what the
Hmm.
fuck? Like don't be that dickhead. But anyway, continue.
Another one was basically a customer trying to say like, I hacked their phone. You're sending me emails that I didn't subscribe to, and I'm just like, wow. I know I'm good at my job, but I'm not that damn good. I can't even hack my old Yahoo email account. I can't get back in that bitch.
So wait, they said you hacked into their phone and was that you personally were sending them emails.
Correct. I
Now,
was
was
like,
this
shit.
was this an older person or was this somebody about our age?
She was like maybe in her mid 40s.
Okay, so someone who had no idea what she was talking about when it comes to technology.
Exactly. One of those
Jeez.
people.
Well, Jesus fuck. You should have just okay boomed her. That's freaking crazy. I know you had told me for a while there when you worked at AT&T that they were one of those companies that they really made you push your metrics and that they made you like yeah, it was cool that you were selling a phone package, but like if you didn't sell a TV package with it too, they like really hounded on you.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So with AT&T, when they joined DirecTV, basically like we had to sell entertainment, which was DirecTV.
Right.
And a lot of people here has Xfinity.
Right.
They want the best service without the crashing of the network, but
Right.
they're also paying out of pocket. I'm like, okay, so I get it. You got Xfinity with X, Y, and Z package.
Mhm.
We have Direct TV. You're gonna be a customer. You're gonna get a huge discount for the next 2 years when you sign up
Right.
with Direct TV. And now knowing that they got their a brand new dish, which is a lot smaller than their previous dish,
Mhm.
is able to withstand about 3 inches of snow on the satellite, 3 inches of rain. You got your DVR. So it became a challenge when we had to sell that to our customers who already has home entertainment, because either A, they just didn't want to change,
Mhm.
B, they had a bad taste in their mouths from previous
Yeah.
direct TVs
Mhm.
before they upgraded all their stuff, or C, they just didn't want to drill holes on their property, which is understandable. People who's a homeowner don't want to ruin the side of the house, which is, I get it. That's a lot of money. Nowadays, you work your ass off to get paid $15 an hour, but yet Uncle Sam want to take a big chunk. You still living paycheck to paycheck. So I get what they're coming from.
Nope.
But then you also have an option where okay, you don't want to drill holes in the side of your house, just pay the additional one-time fee at 75. They could put it on your lawn wherever they could get signal, or
Okay, but that's still
if
a
they,
giant fucking eyesore.
yeah, well, depending on where they could get the signal. Don't
Right.
forget they got a point to that. I think it was like northeast. So even if it's good, let's say if they get that strong signal out in the backyard,
Right.
who's gonna really care in the backyard? A lot of people mostly care about how the front of the house looks. I know my mom does since she's a first time homeowner.
Right. No, I get that, but I mean, for people like me, I've got two kids. I don't want a giant ass dish in my backyard because my kids are gonna go out and play, and they're gonna be kids, and they're gonna knock it over and break it.
True,
You,
and
you know what I'm saying?
and that's understandable. Yeah, I mean, so that's why I say, it's a challenge,
Right.
and that was one of my challenges I had to face in my life in the career I chose,
Right.
and you know, I adapt to it. It was still a challenge for me because I've never sold entertainment. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
No, no, no. I gotcha. No, it's just like to kind of throw a similar story into you. When I moved down here, I was manager at an FYE, and let me tell you, as much as I enjoyed the work I did, what we had to do to our customers was terrible. I mean, as a customer, I kind of knew like going in that it was like a bunch of stuff you got to talk to your customers about. But I mean, in order like customer comes up and just wants to buy a DVD. Okay, what's your email? Got to put in their email. Oh, I don't want to give you my effing email, blah blah blah. Okay, whatever. Do you want, you know, the the magazine packages, or do you want the memberships? You got to get them to try to sign up for the memberships or sign up for the magazines. And it was all these questions you had to ask somebody, and there were times people would just walk the fuck out because they were
Yeah.
tired of doing that shit. What kills me is like I couldn't tell my people not to do it because you got tracked by that stuff, by your transactions. If your transaction count was bad compared to how many magazines and memberships you got, they would tell me, like literally tell you to cut their hours. So if you were a great employee, you had great customer reviews, you were good at like good under pressure, and you stocked the store really well and you cleaned it and all this other things you were good on, A through Y you were fantastic on, but you couldn't sell memberships and you couldn't get people to sign up for the magazines, they'd cut your hours and you'd be fucked.
Jesus.
Yeah, and companies like that are going to fall by the wayside. That's why, I don't get me wrong, it's something I've done a lot, but that's why I miss retail. Like, yeah, we ask them about the rewards, and yeah, we get graded on it, but it's not something like I have to be like, oh, well, we're not getting, rewards memberships, like people scanning their 7-Eleven card, and now I have to cut hours. Like, no. And that's one thing I like, but I can't believe like it's just that companies still do that. Like I understand that they want to make their money, I get that, but I mean there's got to be a better way. And then they wonder why they can't keep people.
I agree.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go on a rant there, buddy. I just hearing things like that, it's so frustrating.
It is. No, no, I feel it out. It is frustrating because DirecTV, that's how you made most of your money because I think that DirecTV every time you sold a package was like $110 on top of your commission check. So like you get like $50 on an upgrade,
Hmm.
$10 on an add-a-line or a wearable or an attachment.
Right,
But DirecTV is one of those things that like as long as you sell them, you're gonna get a fat check.
right,
So that's why they kept pushing it. They kept pushing because they want you to succeed. It's just the fact that they didn't see. They were mostly looking on, okay, how we're gonna let's make you better. Fine, we're gonna do some practice with you. That's fine. But then also you have some management that are just, oh, so what did you do wrong? What
right,
can you do to fix it?
right.
Well, then go fix it.
Yeah,
And
that's
on my case, I had
yeah,
that manager.
yeah, that's terrible. You it's just, and it's not even good management. It's just like there's some people that thrive under that. Like there are some people who can get that negative feedback and they can improve on it. I mean I've worked, I mean you knew not to get too personal or anything, but I can do well with negative or positive reinforcement.
Hmm.
But not everybody's like that. Like just to be hounded like that, oh, you need to do better, you need to do better, oh, we're going to fire you. That I don't like that, not at all.
Neither do I.
Pardon me, I'm going to take a drink of my water here real quick.
Oh, that's cool. I was drinking my Snapple.
Okay, awesome. And again, I really appreciate you sharing that with me, bud. Um,
That's cool.
so next part of the questions here then is, seeing as you are still in retail, is there a, besides Radio Shack, obviously because it's closed, but let's say Walmart or AT&T, would you ever go back to there?
I would definitely will go back to AT&T.
Okay, and why
And
is
just
that?
I was actually going to get there, and that was my chair. I was moving it. Um, and the reason is because it's good money, it's good business, it's something I know. Um, it's a way of making a living. It's a way to actually move up the ladder.
Okay.
I mean, with any business, you could definitely do that. That's no problem at all. It's just that AT&T, me, I'm with me having two kids.
Yeah.
I'm money hungry. I'm ambitious. I want to try to do what I can to make the most money to make sure I have money for my kids. You
Ain't
know what
nothing
I'm saying?
wrong with
So
that, man. Preaching to the choir.
exactly. And AT&T was one of the jobs that I always wanted, because working for like the side business. So and what I mean by side business, like working at Walmart, selling their products. So I'm selling AT&T prepaid phones.
Right.
I'm selling Verizon phones, Sprint phones, Metro PCS phones. You name it, I sold it.
Hmm.
But working for the actual company has a lot more beneficials in life than just working at a Walmart and just being a third party wheelman. You know what I'm saying?
No, 100%, man. And I've seen you work. I've went into the places you work, and I see you, even when you're not helping me or you're talking to another person. I see you do it. You put the time in, and you put the effort in, and that's I've always had mad respect for you when it comes to your work ethic, man. And 100%. I've told you this before. I've even tried to. I'd have you work for me any day of the week.
Oh yeah, yeah. Plenty of times you ask me.
Hell yeah. A lot of times it just didn't work out because of location or by the time, or this, that, or the third. But you know what I'm saying? Like, anytime, man, you always got me as a reference in your pocket.
Oh,
Always.
definitely. And the
So
fact
then,
that I know. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead what you were saying.
No, I was gonna say the fact that like me working at Walmart. I mean, there was times that like when I'm working by myself, I'm activating three, four, five phones at a time, all at the same time for different people. So when you see somebody doing four, five different phones for different people all at once, you
Yeah.
know you put in the effort, and you know you make. And the thing was me, and I'm not trying to light a fire under my ass or make sure I'm the best, but when I did it, I would have to say that I would say now that I'm surprised that all those phones are activated at once for five, four, six people. I'm surprised I've never fucked up on their accounts because for how many shit I had to do, how many numbers I had to punch in,
Right.
going back and forth. Like I would have to say I'm actually really good at what I do.
No, brag along way, dude. I told you before when I was having you on. Everybody I've had on this show, this is a time for you to talk about your accomplishments, talk about things that happen, and if you want to promote yourself on the damn channel, please. Who am I to say no? Bitch, man, talk about yourself all you want. You know me. But no, that's awesome because I was actually going to bring up Walmart, and I know you said that you would go back to AT&T over Walmart, and just any time I saw you at Walmart, because if I came to Walmart to buy some kind of electronics, I always did it when you were there because I didn't like any of the other people that worked there because they were all lazy, and you were always the one who was in there being busy and all that. You know what I'm saying. So like,
Oh yeah.
it's just it's frustrating when you see that, and you're not the only person who's told me that. I have tons of friends, and even my wife worked for Walmart, and there will be times where you will be by yourself doing something, and then at the end of the day, not only do you have to do what you're doing, but then you have to do the stuff that everybody else wasn't doing because you're there by yourself and help customers and do this and do that, and then it's like at the end of the day they're like, oh well, why didn't you get all these 60 million things done, because you're here working by yourself. You're like, that's
Exactly.
bullshit. For a company as big as Walmart, I know there's ways they do things. That's how they make their money. But I mean, goddamn, you would think they'd be able to, properly staff a store, man.
Man, whenever I look at Walmart, I think of this meme I seen on Facebook. I think it was like 2 Christmas ago. The reason why they don't have people in the front desk, they're too damn busy making a Christmas album. That's why they be getting like 2, 3 registers open. Be like, yo, damn, like what the hell?
I remember that when they put the album out, and people were like, "Well, damn, this is what they doing instead of having people at the registers." Man, but that's the thing. Like, we can criticize and talk about Walmart all we want, man. But I tell you, there are times when you gotta shop Walmart. Like right now, there's like, I understand I don't work for Walmart and I still work in retail and I'm able to keep my job because I'm an essential personnel. But I tell you, without Walmart, I'd be fucked right now. Like, because Walmart, they literally have everything.
Definitely.
And that's the thing. Like, you can complain about Walmart all you want, but there's such a huge, and they're not a monopoly, and there's things you can organize or argue against or for it. But I mean, they're just such a, as they call their stores, they're super centers. They're such a super center where it's hard to go in there and not find everything you need. Like, I love shopping at Aldi's. Things are cheap, and you can usually get some really fresh fruit and like some good products there. But you
Hmm.
can't count on everything being there every week when you go to Aldi's.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a double-edged sword. Yeah, you want to bitch, moan, and complain because Walmart's never staffed, and half the time the people they do get the staff that are terrible. But then at the same time, well, what's your options? You know what I mean?
True.
And I'm
True.
not, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I like going to Target and looking around, but I'm not fucking grocery shopping at Target.
Oh heck no. Their food, especially their food.
Yeah,
Like I was at Walmart today and I had to get a bin to put my clothes in for the basement because this time's my basement plus sometimes.
right.
And I actually went to go get diapers for my daughter, but then I actually wound up buying a plush unicorn for my daughter.
Yep.
I wind up buying my son a toy, two toys. I'm like, man, I came to Walmart for two things. I left with 4 or 5 items. I'm like, how the
Yep.
fuck did this happen?
Yep, because you go in there, and one thing I like the Walmart, and I'm trying to only go when I have to. So like every 2 weeks I'll go to Walmart to get groceries. I'm leaving my wife and kids at home. I'll get off work, and I work an hour away from where I live. So the
Hmm.
Walmart closest to me is always busy and always sold out of stuff, especially going right now. But the
Yeah,
Walmart up by where I work yeah, it's kind of busy, but they seem to have a better handle on keeping their stuff stocked. So I usually shop there when I get off work. And they get me. They get me, man, because I'll get there and I'll go in and, I collect pops. And I'm like, man, this Walmart always, for some reason, just always has certain pops that I'm looking for. So I'm like, damn, they're always getting me. So first time I went in there, boom, they had the Recyclops Dwight from The Office. I was like, son of a bitch, you fucking got me. So I put that in the cart, went and did my grocery shopping. Next time I went, next time I went, there was a Chucky or a Hannibal Lecter that my wife really wanted, but it was like a certain one that had it was the Hannibal Lecter and he had blood on his face, and I was like, well, got me again. I'll get this for Allison and go grocery shopping. This past time I went, they got me for two. They had the original Michael Scott Office Pop, and then they had King Cold from Dragon Ball Z Walmart exclusive, and I was like, well, got me again. So it's again, every time I go in there, I'm going back to the electronics and the pop section, just seeing what they got, because this one always seems to have some weird ones that I want that I can never find anywhere else. So that's just the nature of the beast, I guess.
it always happens. Always happens.
Always, man, you can't go to Walmart and not spend an hour in there.
Exactly.
I've
I
tried.
try.
Oh, every day.
Exactly.
Every day. I told my wife, I was joking around with her, like, not even trying, like, and again, you know me, I'm not being rude or, like, sexist or anything, but there was a thing I saw the other day where it was like men are faster grocery shoppers than women. And for some people that's true, and some people it's not. But I told my wife that, but I said, man, ever since I've been going to this Walmart by myself, man, I'm coming back with stuff that's not on the list. You know, I'm like perusing the aisles, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
I'm the same way. See, like I'm the same way. So like, there's two stores that I spend a lot of time in. I
Mm,
mean, I haven't in a while,
okay.
because I've cut down, but it's FYE and GameStop. So like, if I go to a store with Tiff, well, I mean, we're separated now, but if I go to the store with her, I'm like, okay, we gotta get this. You gotta get this, right? She goes, yeah, I'm just gonna get this. She gets it, and we're just walking all over the place. I'm like, I thought you had to just get this. I just want to look real quick. Oh, this looks nice for CJ. We're gonna get this for CJ. I'm like, but we got what we need. We go to GameStop or FYE. I'm like, babe, I gotta just pick up this game real quick, and I'm sitting there for the next 15, 20 minutes, pre-ordering 3 or 4 games,
Yep.
buying a controller, buying a external hard drive for my PS4, and I'm like, oh, this is good.
Yep.
And she goes, I thought you just wanted to pick up your game. You just pre-ordered like 3 games, and why are you getting a new controller? Well, the other one, my buttons are sticky now, so I
Yep.
can't play with that.
Nope, trust me, I've got two controllers. I've got this really awesome blue one I got last year, but my kids drop it a lot. For some reason, they get a hold of my stuff and they drop it. So the right bumper's messed up, so I'm waiting for this whole lockdown stuff to be over. There's a local games shop that told me they can fix it for 20 bucks. So I was like,
Ooh.
sold. So as soon as it's open, I'm going to have them fix it. But my white one, I've had it since I had my 1X. And just from me using it a lot and being dropped, you could tell the buttons are starting to, you know what I mean, not be so responsive.
Yeah.
Not the triggers and the bumpers so much, but mainly just the buttons. So a couple weeks ago, I was like, you know what? I rarely do it. I'm like, I'm gonna go buy myself a controller. It was right when everybody was getting the stimulus checks, and man, was everybody spending their Trump checks, man. Everything is still gone. All the controllers, the Switches, PlayStations, Xbox, everything you can imagine accessory-wise, gone. Every Walmart I've been to.
Mm.
There were people walking, Chris. I swear to God, when I walked into that Walmart that day, because I had to go pick up. I wanted to get some. What was it I was getting? I was getting something for dinner. Oh, mushrooms, because I was doing steak that night. So I was grabbing some mushrooms to cut up to put on my steak. So I went in there. As I was walking out, this family had 3 carts. Every single cart had a 60-inch TV, an Xbox, and a Switch in it. Every
Jesus
single
Christ.
cart.
What's so many?
I wish I was making that up, Chris. Every single cart had a TV, an Xbox, and a Switch.
Why so many
I don't know,
TVs?
man. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I love my TVs, but right now I've got a. Well, I've showed you. You know, I got my HK or yeah HK, my 4K projector. But there
Yeah.
are times I still really wish having a TV, and then my boys go and throw something at the wall, and I'm like, maybe it's a good idea to have the projector.
Until they put a hole in that wall and they're like, damn, I gotta put plaster.
Yeah, but I'd much rather do that than having to replace a $2,000 TV. Because you know me when it comes to my electronics. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna go big.
Oh, definitely. Like right
I'm
now, I'm sitting on a 65-inch curved Samsung Smart TV. I baby
ooh,
that thing. Like that TV that you sold me when you was working at Rent Center.
yep,
I still got it.
the OLED.
Yep, I still got it.
Oh, she's a sexy bitch, isn't she?
Oh my God, as soon as I paid that off, I'm like, yes, you're mine. I don't have to worry about you being taken away from me.
No, but didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you that she was nice? I told you I wouldn't have sold you something that was garbage.
No, bro, I still got it. Like I baby that thing. I baby. Like I'll come home from work and I'll turn on my TV. Whoever used my TV last, I'm yelling at them, yo, why is my TV up to 65? When you're done, lower the volume and turn it off.
I'm like that with certain things. Well, I mean, my Xbox is like the communal right now because my wife we use it for most of our or like all our streaming because we don't do cable because we got Hulu, we got Netflix, we've got Disney Plus. I think that's everything. I mean, and plus we have YouTube. I mean, everything we want to watch is on there. Oh, and I have Vudu, and I've got a huge digital library. So,
Oh man, me and you both, bro. Like if I buy like a Blu-ray DVD and it has a digital code, boom,
yep,
plug it right in. It's on my
yep,
Voodoo.
yep, always. And then and like, and, you, you know how Allison likes to lovingly tease me, but I tell her all the time. I'm like, nope. If it could be a movie I really want, but if it's a DVD, cut it. Nope, I refuse. I will not buy a DVD.
See, now me, I'm so accustomed to buying DVDs, I still buy them. So because like, since I was so young, us the kids, adults be like, no, don't touch my stuff, don't touch my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And me growing up, I'm a movie addict, I'm a
Yep,
movie junkie.
you and me both, buddy.
So when I started collecting my movies, I'm like, yeah, now I know where the adults are coming from. Like, don't touch my shit, that's mine.
Mm-hmm.
So like I kid you not, I could be exaggerating, but I could be telling the truth too. I think I'm sitting on at least maybe $25 to $3,000 worth of DVDs, whether it's new,
Mm-hmm.
old, like I got movies. I even got the movies from like 1980s
Mm-hmm.
up to Endgame to Sonic or Bloodshot. Like right now, I'm buying a lot of my movies on the Vudu
Yep.
because of this lockdown. Because nobody can go to the movie theater, so we got this movie at the theater at home thing where you can actually buy the movies
Yep.
like a few weeks after they supposedly release date. So
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing that lately.
Most definitely. And anyway, we got a little off topic there, but last thing I want to really close out this podcast, Chris, is I know you're still currently working, right? Like they're deeming you guys as essential, right?
Yeah, Boost Mobile is essential. So because we deal with the phones and we also sell the Xfinity prepaids,
Okay.
internet.
So my biggest last thing I want to kind of leave you with is if it's something I've asked everybody as the final question on the podcast, and it pretty much is if you had one thing that you could say to everybody who's out there every day, put not only their lives but their family lives on the line, so that way all these essential businesses can still run. The people who are out there stocking shelves so that people can have toilet paper, food to eat, a fruit like people who even like stock the fruit and the meats. I mean, their job just went from somebody who's just stocking fruit and meats to somebody who now could possibly die because they're out stocking this stuff, and somebody who's sick comes right next to them and gets the food. So if
Me,
you
I would
so if you could say just like one thing to all these people to help them make it through, what would you say?
I would say just keep your head up, man. I mean, we live in America. We've been through a lot of hardships. We always come out on top. We always wind up triumph. We're always successful. So this is just another phase that we have to deal with. We dealt with World War I, World War II. We dealt with the Civil War, the Cold War,
Great Depression.
threats, Great Depression. And if you look at it, this is somewhat similar to almost like a Great Depression because a lot of businesses closed and they're losing money.
Right.
So for the people who still working out, putting their life in the line, you, myself, Walmart employees, Uber Eat drivers, Door Dashers, take precaution,
Hmm.
but make sure you go home safe to your family. It's gonna be hard, but always know that at the end of the day, you're not just only making money for your family, but you're
Hmm.
also helping other people to eat, to live, to thrive, to feed their family. I'm the type of person where if I have a little bit of food left in my house, I give it to my kids. I'm an older guy. I could deal with not eating food for a day or two.
Exactly.
Just know that we're in a hard time right now, but just keep your head up. We're gonna get through this, no matter what. We're gonna get through it. If you have to stay home a few days, stay home a few days. If your business is considered essential, just take the necessary steps. Wear your mask, wear your gloves, wash your hands, keep the distancing. Just do what is right for you, so you can go home and be with your loved ones. Because without you, there's no us, and with no us, we wouldn't be where we at now.
Dude, that's some real shit, and I appreciate you saying that because there are a lot of people out there right now that, again, like I said, are putting their lives on the line to make sure that we have our stuff. And I just hope that this podcast gets out there so that people can hear that and that they know, even it's from the people that work with them and people who are doing the same job, that there are people out there that know what people are doing and that they are 100% appreciated.
Definitely,
Chris, I appreciate having you on, buddy. Again, can't wait to have you back on. I hope you want to be on again.
definitely,
I hope you enjoyed this, and everybody out there listening. This has been Retail Shenanigans, episode 9. We're climbing the subscribes there and the views, which is fantastic. Remember, I'm still running a contest out there, a $10 Amazon gift card to the 50th subscriber. So we're still trying to get that. Everybody have a great day, and please stay safe out there. Have a fantastic evening.